26.2 miles, was it 42 kilometers? It's a lot. And to bring you guys together as a Nike running family community, to have some good conversation, good food, to socialize. It means the world to have you guys with us here today, and we're so thankful. So make some noise for yourself for showing up today. And to keep the good energy and the love going, we're going to bring someone out very special to us for a quick conversation about running the marathon, overcoming obstacles, and winning, right? We all know that winning isn't comfortable, and this athlete has proved it time and time again. So I want you guys to welcome Mr. Galen Rupp today. That was me. Come on, give Galen some love. All right, and after this intro, I want you to give him even more love, because Galen is celebrated as one of the greatest American distance runners of all time. All times, bro. The greatest. Galen held multiple U.S. records at the high school, collegiate, and senior levels in his career. You were born and raised in the Pacific Northwest, competed at the University of Oregon, graduated with 14 All-American honors, 5 individual NCAA championships, and the title of 2009 NCAA Track Athlete of the Year. I've got more. I'm going to keep going. Not to embarrass you or anything. All right, you also competed in the 2008, 2012, 2016, and 2020 with an asterisk Olympic Games. And maybe some more. We got some more coming?
Hopefully we got one more in there.
All right. You brought home the silver in the men's 10,000 meter in London, and the bronze in the men's marathon in Rio. And in between this incredible Olympic career, you won the 2017 Chicago Marathon. Make some noise for Galen winning the 2017 Chicago Marathon. You were the first American to break the tape in more than 15 years. In addition to all these incredible accolades, Galen's a family man. You got 4 wonderful kids, and you still reside in Oregon. Yep. All right, let's make some noise for Galen. We're going to get into this conversation. Let's do this. We're going to warm you up with some rapid fire questions. You ready?
Fire away.
All right. I'm a Chicagoan, moved to Oregon a few years ago. Oregon coast or the mountains?
I love the coast, but there's nothing like that fresh mountain air, so I'm going to go with the mountains.
What's your favorite mountain? Where you going for your skiing or snowshoeing?
I mean, I'm not a big downhill skier, but Mount Hood's great, Mount Bachelor's awesome, but I love going in the Coast Range. My parents, their family used to have a cabin up there, and doesn't get a lot of snow, but it's beautiful country up there, so I always like spending time in the Coast Range.
Man, I agree. Man, one of the most beautiful places in the world. Ducks or beavers?
Well, that's an easy one. I went to the University of Oregon, so I'm Ducks 100%, but I do have some love for Oregon State. My mom went there for 3 years, so when they aren't playing Oregon, I'll definitely show Oregon State some love as well.
All right, in your career, you put in work on the track and you put in work on the roads. Track workout or long run?
Track workout, 100%. I'm a sprinter deep down at heart, even though I might not have been able to do that at a high level, but nothing like running fast intervals on the track.
All right, Nike changed the game with this X% running series, Vaporfly, Alphafly. Which one is Galen's choice?
I'm an Alphafly guy, through and through. I think that the Vaporfly, like you said, changed the game. Never forget the first time I put it on, and it was so different than everything that running shoes were at the time. You know, it was all about minimal, how light can you get, how little material. And then all of a sudden, I remember they showed me we're working on this prototype, and it was the exact opposite of everything I thought that was fast. And to me, it just was eye-opening because I would have never thought of that, and it just shows, you know, Nike's willingness to push the boundaries and go against conventional thinking, not being scared to innovate. That's in our blood, and you know, it changed the game in distance running, and I think they made the Vaporfly even better when they introduced the Alphafly. So it's a shoe that I think helps not only with performance but recovery, especially when you run on the pavement. My body has bounced back faster wearing that shoe noticeably compared to anything else. So it's something where you kind of get to have your cake and eat it too. But Alpha Fly is unbelievable. That's what I'm rocking with every time I'm on the road.
1, 2, or 3? Which Alpha Fly?
It's close for me. I love the 1, but I think the 3 is pretty incredible as well. So yeah, I'm running in the 3 right now, and it's been awesome.
Make some noise if you're running the Alpha Fly 3 this weekend. That's how you know you made it to the whole crowd.
I know. You won't regret it.
We're in Chicago, City of Wind, and they are known for their iconic food treats. Chicago style hot dog or deep dish pizza.
Both are good, but I'm gonna go with the Chicago dog, no doubt. I love that. And also, I should say, option C, my favorite thing to get here are those Italian beef sandwiches. Those are what I look forward to after I run the marathon more than anything else. And can't really find them anywhere but here.
You know there's a place in Oregon that tries to make them.
There's a place called Michael's. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my dad took me there. I know it's not the same. It's better than nothing, but nothing like
the trick here is to have it shipped in from Portillo's.
Okay. All right.
That's amazing.
All right.
All right, last rapid fire question. I hear you're a big Chicago sports fan. I've got 3 for you. Mike Ditka, Mike Jordan, or Harry Carey?
This is a really tough one because I love all 3. I was Harry Carey for Halloween in college. Great SNL skit, and I just remember watching him on WGN. My dad and I watched the Cubs games, and he was like no other. So might have to roll with him, but Michael Jordan is my favorite athlete of all time. You know, nobody can tell me anything that he's not the greatest NBA player ever to play. And I just love his fire, his killer instinct, and when the game's on the line, for him to have the confidence to always take that shot, there was no one like him. So I might have to go Jordan. I think he's going to be my pick.
The question is, though, do you have a Harry Carey impersonation?
Oh. Hey! I think that's all I got.
All right, we start this thing with your long list of accolades. As a runner, what would you define as your keys to success? And which of those keys would you want to impart to all of our runners in the crowd to keep them running and breaking barriers every day?
I think a big key, and I've learned this more as I've gotten older and more experience, is just knowing when to push and when to hold back. You know, as a younger athlete, and I think most distance runners can relate to this, it's easy to always want to keep doing more, keep going faster, keep going harder, and keep pushing through every injury. But, you know, there's a difference between being smart and training hard, and just being hard-headed. And, you know, I think a lot of athletes make the mistake of maybe trying to push through things too much. And I know it can be frustrating when you have a little injury or maybe a workout doesn't go your way, but knowing that it's really, what's going to make you great on race day is the sum of all your training. It's not any one workout that's going to determine whether you run well or not. And having that discipline to be smart, to back off when maybe things aren't going your way or when you have an injury. You know, I give my coaches so much credit for holding me out a lot of races, pulling me out of a lot of workouts. And if there was something that was bothering me, we never pushed through. And I think that really was the reason why I had so great of longevity and was able to run so consistently well. A lot of times, you know, I had someone explain to me, if you just think over time, whether it's, you know, months or years, if you can just keep inching up every single week, every single month, every single year, that's how you're going to build into just a tremendous distance runner. Sometimes if you want to push it, maybe you can get up there quicker and that curve is more steep, but you get hurt and then you have to drop way back to where you were. And then you got to work all that hard just to get back. Whereas if you had just taken it a little bit slower and having that long-term approach, it's everything. Consistency is the biggest thing that you can do in distance running. So, you know, I tell people all the time, just take it slow and really be consistent. Don't get too down or too up from any one workout because it's the sum of those weeks and months that you put together that's going to determine your success on race day.
Man, You were preaching. As a runner, and someone who just finished a marathon 2 weeks ago, I came to Chicago, I started feeling excited, I feel the energy, and I was like, maybe I should get a bit of a run. And my body was like, no, you should.
It's so hard. It's the easiest thing to say and look at from the outside, and I think so much it's easy to see with other people. It's the hardest thing to do with yourself, because we all get emotional, and we all, are so invested and so wrapped up in what we're doing, and we want it so bad. So just don't be scared to listen to your body or listen to the advice of your coaches or your friends if they see something. It's okay to take it easy every once in a while. It's not going to make you not have a great race. It's not going to take away from anything that you're doing.
All right, Galen, you stacked miles, you stacked the victories, and then you stacked the championships, which led to you winning the Chicago Marathon in 2017. Again, earlier, I think I said you were the first American to win in 15 years, but you were the first American male to cross the tank in 35 years. How do you embrace the pursuit of these really big challenges? Because you won the Chicago Marathon just a year after entering your first marathon, which was the Olympic trials in 2016, which you won. But how do you embrace those challenges when you're facing, again, these big mental and physical barriers to sport?
For me, a lot of it is about it's great to have those big goals, but it's about the day-to-day stuff that you do and having a mindset of just constantly being present, in what I'm doing. I'll obviously have the Olympics or have the Chicago Marathon in the back of my head when I'm training, but really every day, the only thing that I can control is how well I prepare myself and all the work that I'm doing. So that's why it's so important to win every day, to make sure you're doing, your stretches, to make sure you're lifting, to make sure you're always pushing yourself every single day. When you make that your standard, when race day comes, it just becomes habit that you're always going to push yourself. Because as an elite athlete, I can never control what my competitors are doing. So I've always tried to just be the best version of myself. And again, it sounds kind of cliche, but it's so hard to put into practice every single day. But each and every one of you, your running is a unique journey to yourself. And if you can just learn to push yourself and get the most out of yourself every single day, race day, when you do that, you're never going to be disappointed. Because it doesn't matter what the person next to you is doing. You have absolutely no control over that. I joke around with people sometimes and say, if I ran 1:59 for the marathon tomorrow and I got 8th place, am I going to be disappointed? No, I have no control over those 7 other people that might have beaten me. But if I ran the best race I could, I'm going to leave walking away feeling really good about myself. So it's just about staying present, making sure I'm doing everything day after day. And even in the race, there are going to be times probably when y'all are running on Sunday that you're going to start questioning things. Your body might be hurting. You might wonder, how can I get through these next 10 miles, these next 5 miles? I'm hurting so bad right now. But when you go through that, you've got to just try to think of something positive and remind yourself that you can't run those 5 or 6 or 10 miles in that split second you're thinking about it. There's nothing that you can do to do that. All you can focus on is getting to that next mile, getting to that next water post or water station, whatever it is. And if you can just stay present and find a reason to keep getting through small chunks, you'll get closer to the finish line, and all of a sudden you're going to get energized again. Because you're going to hear all those crowds, you're going to see the finish line, you're going to smell it, and that's when you're going to realize, I did something that maybe I didn't think was possible, that I didn't think my body was capable of doing. So just stay present in the race, stay confident, try to think positive. It sounds silly, but any little mantra that you can have that's going to take your mind off of how much you're hurting or that doubt. And that doubt is totally normal. Find a reason to win and just keep pushing.
All right, Galen, you talk a lot about overcoming the obstacles in the race. We are a couple hours, 36 away from race day. My first marathon, I was bad. I was at Eakin, I was in Chicago partying with my teammates. I was working expo on my feet all day. And I wasn't ready for the race. Set the scene for us, the 24 hours heading into your first Chicago Marathon victory. Tell us about things you did to prepare, and what wisdom from your actions do you think that these guys should follow?
Yeah, I know we all got lives and things and obligations that we have to do, but the more that you can can stay off your feet, the more that you can just rest the 24 hours before the start, your body's going to thank you. So really just take it easy as much as you can. Don't be scared to do something too that kind of takes your mind off the race. It's so easy to get hung up on all these scenarios of what can happen and, thinking about it all the time. That's normal and that's good, but also take some time to relax, whether that's being around loved ones, just sharing a meal with them, getting your mind off of that. The more relaxed you can be right now between now and race day, it's only going to help you. And, when you are thinking about it, a lot of times what I like to do is just go through different scenarios in my head about different mile points and really try to hone in on all the, sensations that you're going to do, whether that's what you're going to hear, what you're going to smell, what you're going to feel. All that stuff is super important, and the more realistic you can kind of make those visualizations, the better. And also just thinking about like different scenarios that are going to be in there. Having a plan to attack those and deal with them is really going to help you. When you are in a race, you don't want to be thinking too much, and so the more you can kind of picture those scenarios in your head and see yourself, problem solving and doing that, when you get in there, it's just going to be like second nature, and it's going to save you a lot of energy.
That's amazing. Great to hear. This fall, Nike Running launched its latest running campaign. It was titled "Winning Isn't Comfortable." It acknowledges and celebrates the bold actions runners take every day to achieve their personal victories. I want you to fill in the blank of this statement from your perspective and share why you believe it to be true. Winning isn't blank for Galen Rupp.
I would say winning isn't easy. And I guess it's kind of similar to winning isn't comfortable, but anything that's worthwhile, you gotta go through some struggle for it. Whether that's running, whether that's a relationship, struggle is where true growth comes from. And so you've gotta, again, have that mentality that every day you're gonna do something that's maybe a little bit uncomfortable and push yourself. And if you do that, and you get through it, see on the other side, that's what winning really is when you go through those struggles and then you see the end result. And it's never over. You just keep setting new goals, new finish lines after you complete your goal. And that to me is the really fun part about running. But everybody has those journeys, it's unique to all of us. And just keep going for the rest of your life, really. You set a goal, you go after it, win or lose, you go after the next one.
Basically, there's no finish line.
There is no finish line, yeah.
Something. Today you got some amazing Air Max 90 camos on your feet. But what are you running in these days?
I run in Pegasus. I ran in the structures for a really long time, but where I'm at right now, the Pegasus is better for me, being a more neutral shoe. I like not having a ton of foam underneath me in my training shoes. I like being able to feel the ground, and Pegasus has been great. So that's my go-to trainer.
And I think earlier we talked about the race issues out for fly. You doing any trail running?
I don't do a ton of trail running. I roll my ankles a lot, so I gotta be careful. It's beautiful getting out there. I usually just wear my Pegasus when I go out there. And I know they make a trail version of the Peg, so maybe I'll have to try that out one of these days. But I just stick with the normal Pegs.
All right, another fun one. You are a legend. Period. Right? And legends get immortalized on the big screen. If you were casting the Galen Rupp movie, who has to play Galen Rupp?
We were saying, somebody mentioned Michael Cera at one point, and I know it's super bad. He's the best kid alive, so maybe we'll have to go with him.
All right. Your former training buddy, Mo Farah. Who plays Mo?
I know it doesn't look like it, but Mo loves Samuel L. Jackson, and I would just want to see a movie with Samuel L. Jackson and hear him talk about running in a way that only he can, so we might have to put him on Mo.
I can only imagine Sam, doing the Mo logo and saying that for a good time. So funny. And last but not least, Elliot Kipchoge.
We'll sit down Shield for him. I think that'd be a good person for him.
I think he could capture that Zen-like mysticism of Elliot really well.
Absolutely.
All right. And last but not least, what's next for Galen Rupp?
Well, right now I'm doing the broadcast on Sunday, so unfortunately I won't be running, but I'll be out there cheering all you want, and it's going to be fun to do something new and see the race from a totally different perspective. But I definitely hope to be back here next year competing. I had surgery on my hip in April, and I've just been rehabbing from that, but it's going really well. And targeting some shorter races in January and February, and hopefully either a Boston or London marathon in the spring. So that's kind of what's on the horizon. But my body's feeling great. Definitely want to keep running through the Olympics in LA in 2028. The last couple of years have been pretty tough for me, dealing with injuries, and it's just been really frustrating. But I finally am feeling healthy again, and I don't think there's any reason I can't do it.
Did you say 2028?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
This is the Olympics in LA. This is once in a lifetime. They're going to be here in the U.S., and I think it'll be pretty unbelievable.
What will it mean for you to have your kids see you run LA 2028?
It's a huge motivator. You know, my kids are getting older. We don't talk a whole lot about what I do. They know I run, but I think by that time in LA, you know, they'd be old enough, and it'd just be pretty special for them to be able to go to the Olympics and, you know, hopefully see you compete there against the best in the world.
Galen, thank you so much for your time. Good luck with the broadcast on Sunday. Appreciate everything that you do for that career. Everybody, thanks so much.
Thank you.